Welcome to our live about the Cain Rechargeable Double Breast Pump. I'm Louise from the Sleep Store, you know me from chatting, and this is Libby from Libby & Co.
Hi there.
And Libby, you might recognise from some of our recent videos about breastfeeding and during the lockdown when Libby was chatting with Amelia from our team.
Yep.
So yeah, Libby, would you like to introduce yourself or...
Yes, I would. Thank you, Louise. I'm Libby Cain, and I've been a midwife for 30 years and a lactation consultant for 20 years. And I'm working at the moment in the community and in the hospital, but I've got a great passion about information and supporting mums in that fourth trimester, and especially with breastfeeding. So that's why Louise has asked me to talk about the pump with her today.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
No, that's all right.
And the information that you've generously shared with our community so far about breastfeeding has been really wonderful. And if you're watching this and you have questions about breastfeeding, you can contact Libby through her website, which Amelia will post below, and you can get a consultation. Libby takes private clients, or amazingly a free 15-minute feeding consult. So yeah, we'll share all of those links so you can connect with Libby if you want further information. That'd be our pleasure to send some clients your way.
Thank you, Louise.
So today we're going to be really just reviewing the pump, talking about its features, going through what it does, how we came to have this amazing new machine. I might just give you some background for the followers and for Libby about how we came to have this amazing pump. So this has been a long journey at the Sleep Store where we've wanted for years to have a really high quality pump that we were in control of having stock, because so often we would try to order a pump for our customers because we'd run out and we just could never get them. So we wanted a pump that we always could supply. We wanted it to have all the latest features, and we wanted it to be really efficient and comfortable. So yeah, I've been in communication with one of the world's leading factories for a number of years, and then last year was a happy moment where we had a meeting in Germany at an expo between myself, Cain, and the manufacturer, and we came together in this happy union of producing this breast pump. Yeah, and we were really stoked to partner with Cain on it because they're one of the leading kind of consumer electronics companies. So it's backed by a really big American company. So shall we talk about the features that you like and the features that I like? Okay. So Libby, in her work with private clients and also through the hospital, she's been having a really good look at the pump and had some clients using it, so we can get some of that input. But for me, when we were working out what features our customers really wanted in a breast pump, lots of, most of our staff here are mums.
Yes.
And I've got 4 kids, so I have pumped, not very successfully, but I do remember when I had my first and I was working for a big corporate and I was travelling a lot, and just the noise, I personally hated that noise, and being somewhere like in the Coro Lounge trying discreetly to pump because I'd been away, in Christchurch all day. And so for me, something that was portable and quiet and rechargeable, those things were really important for me from my personal experience of using one on the go. But also, the kind of real big 3 that our customers talked about wanting. The first one obviously is comfort.
Yeah.
So,
and they've certainly got that with this pump.
Yeah. So, I mean, Libby really picked up on kind of some of the things that make this particularly comfortable. So obviously got the really soft silicone in here.
That makes it extra comfortable.
Yeah.
But the other thing, Louise, I was mentioning to you is the fact that the pump part that actually goes on your breast is slightly shaped at the top and at the bottom, which means that it doesn't dig in, and a lot of people have mentioned how comfortable that is.
Yeah.
Because quite often if you're angling it a bit much, it does cut in, and so that can cut down your chance of possibly causing mastitis or block ducts or something. So I really love that. Yeah, that just feature.
Yeah. And that's, this is, I guess, the benefits of working with one of the leading manufacturers in the world. I didn't specify that feature. I didn't even actually know
That makes it,
Yeah,
much more
and I know
comfortable.
from my own experience of years of using a breast pump off and on with 4 kids that the one I had was probably the leading brand in the world, but it only had the hard plastic shell, and that's kind of the norm for a breast pump, is it's just hard plastic on your boob, and then just like, not very comfortable. So this one with it, so you've got it out.
So it's really nice that it comes with this, because for some conditions when you are feeding, the go-to troubleshooting thing to do would be to then go on and purchase a rubber shield that fits on that pump. So it's already done for you. So I think it's great.
It comes as standard. And the silicone breast shield that fits inside the pump head does come in 3 sizes. So it comes standard with the 25mm, which is a sort of average boob size. And then in the instructions, there's some information on measuring. So if you feel that it's too big or too small for your nipple size, you can buy the extra, buy the accessory of the different size.
And they're very reasonably priced too, actually.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
And do you find, from your experience with mums pumping, is that quite common that people want to get a different size, or do most people find the average size?
Yeah, the average size, but it makes itself obvious that you need to change the size reasonably quickly after pumping on the wrong size with the nipple, being sucked, and a bit of rubbing happens on the nipple down the shaft there. So, so it's good to start with the standard size, and then the fact that you've got the other two.
I think breast pumps too have moved on, the development of them and the kind of features and things so much, because I know when I had mine, it was the most expensive one that they had at Baby Factory at the time, and there was no mention of that. It might not be the right size. It was just kind of like, this is it, put it on, press go, and good luck with that sort of thing. Excuse me. So the comfort definitely is one of the things customers were after. And then the second thing that loud and clear people are looking for in a breast pump is that it's efficient.
Yes.
That it's that hospital level performance, that the time they spend pumping will actually generate some milk.
Yes. And I let one of my lovely ladies use this when she left hospital, and she pumped and thought she had used several pumps because she'd had a few issues with breastfeeding, and she put this one right up there. She said the volume that she was able to get out was really, really good compared to the others that she had used in the past. So that was good. And the other thing, Louise, that she really, really liked about it was the kiddie lock, because her toddler came straight in the house and went straight to the pump and went, and she'd already locked it, and she said that was probably one of the best things to stop them coming and changing what she was doing at the time.
That's really great to hear. And I think, toddlers now are so familiar with touch screen things, really it's like swiping or tapping or whatever, so that somebody really was thinking when they added that. So just in terms of the hospital level performance, it's a really it's interesting to note that our pump actually has 2 motors.
Yes.
So a lot of pumps that are a double pump, it's one motor, and then when you're pumping on both sides, you're effectively getting half as much suction on 2 sides. But with the crane pump, it's got a motor on, independent, powerful motor on each side, and you can have completely separate suction levels, different phase, different suction level on each side. So you can get one boob going, get that going, and then you can start on the other side, and maybe, you need a different level on one side.
Because the breasts do operate differently, different shapes, nipples are often very different, so it's kind of good to have that choice, isn't it?
Excellent. Yes, different level, different phase, and it does have 3 different phases for pumping as well. It has this stimulation phase, which you start with, then the expression phase, which most people will just stick on that and pump for as long as they want. But then this pump also has a feature called the 2-in-1 mode, which goes back to some stimulation and some expression.
Which we sometimes women will use that to stimulate another letdown, and so that can be quite helpful, while they're doing that as well.
Awesome. And then one of the third feature that our customers really, really said any breast pump, a really essential feature, is that it's easy to clean. And I know from the pump that I had, and we hear this from other other brands that we've stocked over the years, that so many pumps have so many parts and they're so fiddly. And, I remember when I got my pump out after, I think it might have been for baby number 3, and like the valve was missing, and like, so you put it on, you like psych yourself up, get it on, and then like nothing, just like this tiny little piece of silicone was missing, and this like $500 pump or something effectively became worthless until I could source this tiny little thing.
So now it's just this.
It's just this.
So no parts to lose.
No parts. So this inside, this is the pump head here. So it's got the silicone cushion there, which fits inside, and then it's got the diaphragm, which fits, and that just pops in the top. And that's pretty much it. Apart from that, it's the bottle on the top and the cap, which goes on the top, like that. So the in terms of the easy to clean, it's got very few pieces that that you need to wash and sterilise. Just that piece, the pump head, that, and then anything that you're using to collect the milk in, or obviously if you're using the bottles and teats, it comes with really nice quality silicone teat and cap and all of the extras as well, which for most breast pumps you have to buy all the bottles and stuff as extra.
The good thing about this teat too, Louise, is it's a wide teat, so that if you were going to feed your baby the breast milk and you wanted to continue feeding, they have to really open their mouth, and it's almost the same wide flangedness that you would use to drink from that. Awesome. Same as going on the breast. So that's good that it's a wide one. Yeah. And
we do have extra of the Crane bottles. You can get a 2-pack of the Crane bottle. So if you want more of the size, and then we do have the teats it comes with the 0 to 3 month size standard. Two complete bottles in the box, and then we do have 3 to 6 month and 6 months plus teats as well as accessories, because they're really beautiful quality Tritan bottles, so you might want to keep using those. What else? So in terms of how easy it is, this you can dishwasher or hand wash warm soapy water. There's very comprehensive details in the instructions about sterilising and what to sterilise and how to wash it and so on. But basically it's just rinse it and put it all in a pot of boiling water for a minute or 2.
4 minutes. Yeah. So the other thing I was going to say, Louise, is if you find that the silicone builds up and looks a bit milky, you just literally use salt on it, pour salt and scrub it with your fingers, and it sort of cleans it up a bit.
Yes.
That's with any of the silicone parts and the teats and things. Yeah.
It's a handy tip. I didn't
know that. One of Libby's,
I didn't know that.
The salt just cleans it up.
Perfect. Libby's top tip. Tip. So in terms of putting this back together, I haven't actually used this a lot apart from writing the instructions and, working with different people to get it to, for sale. So I'm just going to do Georgie made all our videos and so on. Put your finger in, poke it through. This is my first time trying this technique, so it's a real genuine how easy is this. Pull it through and then you just pop it. It's just got to sit on there, and that's it.
That was well done.
Like that. I must have followed the instructional videos. And then this just comes, I don't know if you can see that on the video, you just sit, that edge of that goes around over there, like so. The diaphragm just sits back in the top, and then the bottle screws on there. So it's incredibly easy. Of all the pumps that we've sold over the years and that all our staff have used with all our babies over the years, it really doesn't get quicker or easier than that. So quick for cleaning, quick to put it back together. And also because you get 2 full sets, if you are only most of the time using it on one side, you've always got another set ready to go. Or they're very reasonable if you just want to buy an extra 1 or 2 of that.
Great.
People are loving the kitty lock and the fact that it comes with 2 bottles.
Excellent.
And the simplicity, the look of it. Yeah. So it's really good. There's some good feedback.
Yeah.
I know that I love promoting breastfeeding, but the couple of mums have said, and it wasn't like, I was saying, how does the what's the performance like?
Yeah.
They both said that the feel of the bottle is really nice. So that's a funny thing, isn't it?
Yes.
That they really appreciated that. I don't know what it's possibly that plastic you were talking
Yeah,
about.
it's called Tritan plastic. So a lot of high-end plastic drink bottles are made out of this now. It's BPA and various other BP free. But it also we wanted something that gave the look of glass without actually being able to, put a glass bottle with the pump. We did look into it and it just wasn't viable. But we do think, expressing is not that much fun. No one's doing it from choice. Excuse me. And so, making it look a bit more high-end and feel nice, and when you take it out and it looks good, There's small things, but this is also why we just went for a really nice, simple colour scheme. We didn't want it to be kind of garish.
It's very nice and slimline and sleek.
Yeah. It's as mod and fashionable as you can get with the breast pump. But it is, we've seen lots of photos where people have got it like on their side table or, in the lounge, and it's not kind of big and obvious. It's just quite subtle, and because it's touch screen and it's all quite low key, but it works really, really well.
Yeah, it's got to, doesn't it, for it to do the job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, Libby's showed it to some of the lactation consultants at the hospital.
I did. They thought that the angle that the milk drips down into the bottle is very good. It wasn't something I noticed straight away, but it was the flange also, and that was brilliant, and just the ease of cleaning it was very good.
Yes,
some people like to have a pump when they have their babies nowadays, and so it's a thing that we often talk about pre-having a baby and getting ready and getting the right one for you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Some of the other features which are useful is, one is just how portable it is. Like a lot of breast pumps are quite a lot larger or heavier. So this is very small and it's rechargeable. So, it can run from a full charge. Oh, I've started it with the touch screen.
But you can't even hear that, can you, everybody? It's so quiet.
Yeah.
You didn't realise it was on.
I didn't mean to put it on. So, it's portable, off a full charge. It'll run for 2 hours, and you generally would be pumping for half an hour would be quite sufficient. You'd be a bit over it after half an hour. And it does have a count up. So you can see, when you've got to that half an hour. You don't have to pump, obviously, for half an hour, but that's about as long as you would want to go for. So portable, rechargeable. From the environmental point of view, that's really important to us, that it's rechargeable. I know the one I used to have, the Medalla one, it just used to chew through so many throwaway batteries, and so being able to just recharge it and take it on the go is important. If you're going back to work,
it's such a nice.
You could charge it, put it in your bag, take it to work, bring it back, and the noise, like it doesn't have that horrendous, milking machine.
So that people are loving that, and they're loving the features, the touchscreen features.
Yeah.
What do you think about the noise? No. Well, one of our
Yeah.
That's level. What's that level?
4 and 3.
4 and 3.
That's both the engines on.
So it's full suck, 2 motors. Still pretty quiet.
You could do that in the office and nobody would know that's what you're doing. In the old days you said people can can tell exactly what you're doing.
In the Coro lounge, quietly under the table. Yeah. One of our team who used it quite extensively and gave it a really good test mentioned that her husband said he could still watch TV and it didn't disturb the TV watching. So. Actually, that's true there, because I think Sarah said it as well.
It's important.
So it is important that you can use it and it not be a drama and it not kind of be this big thing. You just put it on and get on with it.
And so portable, to take to work, isn't it? Small bag, not that obvious.
Yeah. And if you're wanting, and I think the ability to, the efficiency point of view of being able to do 2 sides at once, what effectively means it will, half the time you're expressing for, but also the, feedback that we've had, and I think there's research to back it up, is that double pumping actually will increase your milk supply even further.
Yes.
Yeah,
it does.
So that's probably different people. We're not making any promises in terms of, how much you'll be able to express. Every woman is different. The amount people are expressing breastfeeding, both, or just expressing will obviously have big difference depending on the individuals. But the feedback is that it's equal to any of the other pumps that are on the market, and some people have said it's better. So you have to try it for yourself and see.
It's a serious love, actually.
Yeah.
Nice.
One of the other features which I just should mention too about on the quietness is you can actually set the buttons so that they make a beeping noise, or you can mute the buttons. So I think when you're first learning to use it, you probably want the beep to know what you're doing. But once you're familiar with it, and if you've got a sleeping baby, like our model that filmed the video with it, she had the sleeping baby and she's pumping, and you can put the buttons on mute. So it's just a silent touch button.
Yeah.
Which is just a little thing to just make it a bit more user friendly.
One of those features.
Yeah. So do we have any other features or questions that we want to talk about? Have we had comments?
We've got lots of questions coming through.
Would you like to answer? Should we do Q&A now?
Yeah, well, we're gonna. Does Andrina want to join?
Yes.
And
Okay.
then we'll do some Q&As with you all.
Yes, lovely.
Awesome.
There's actually quite a few questions coming through. Lots of love for the pump.
Oh,
So,
what did you have?
Andrina.
Oh, welcome, Andrina.
Welcome,
Where are you
Andrina.
coming? You can come in here next to me.
Okay. You can come in. This is lovely Andrina.
So this is Andrina, who you might recognise from our sleep groups. So Andrina has worked with us for quite a while now.
5 years.
5 years. Oh my goodness,
I know.
where did that go? I haven't popped out any more children. You've had some more children.
Yeah, two
Two
more.
more. I'm fully done. So Andrina is also a midwife and a trained sleep consultant, and does amazing work for us in our sleep groups. And so you can connect with Andrina through our pregnancy support group, newborn 4 to 12.
And toddler sometimes.
Sometimes you'll track her down, she's
Yeah.
around. So Andrina's role is sort of our community coordinator, isn't it? Managing those groups and also writing us some beautiful articles and helping with the instructions, turning it from talking about vacuuming to expressing. And
Literal Google translations from Mandarin to English. Not so good.
so Andrina had her third baby, was it the start of this year?
Yeah, 8 months ago.
8 months
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
And so this was very good timing of, please could you test the breast pump that we're thinking of making and help us write the instructions and become our go-to breast pump guru. So Andrina is definitely one of the experts who you can
definitely.
talk about.
Yeah.
And we're going to have an ongoing chat with Libby about feeding, popping into our group, and you can connect with Libby through her page as well for her private consults or for a free 15-minute chat. And then also in our own team here in the office, we've got a number of our staff have tried it. And we also have Alicia in our team, who's our in-house kind of breast pump, bottle feeding, bottles, teats, that's her area of expertise. So you can also, we've got lots of people to answer questions.
Yeah.
So would you like to just talk about your personal experience using it
sure,
for a
okay.
minute?
So,
what did you think? And
I can't remember when I started using it, but Lou contacted me and said, we're going to make a breast pump, can you try it out? Yep, sure. And when I got it, immediately I loved it. I didn't get this one, it doesn't look as beautiful as this, but the functions are the same.
Yeah.
So when I got it, I basically put it together. It's pretty easy to put together, really. There were no instructions, so I did have Georgie's special tip about how to put that in. I did struggle for a little bit. It's a good
the other way.
But yeah, it's very easy. It's a touch and go. It's self-explanatory on here, and yeah. So I just started using it. The first thing that I recognized about it was that it was super comfortable, because the pump that I had previously used for my first was a leading brand and whatever. It doesn't like the silicone cushion. It makes a huge difference. There's no grating or pulling or anything. It's just comfortable. And also the way, the way the bottles feel and the way that you can handle it, it just makes it quite easy. I had a wee go last night, and I was just watching MasterChef, and filled the bottle in 20 minutes, and that's not usual for me because I'm not, I'm not a big pumper.
Yeah.
So it's really just it's so easy. You just sort of pop it on, relax, and then I think that makes a big difference when you're not faffing around and thinking, oh, this is uncomfortable, I've got to sit this way, or so the comfort thing was definitely the first thing that I noticed about it.
Awesome.
And then I like, the features are great as well. Like it's super quiet and the way it's easy to just switch between modes. You can pause rather than restarting again and going into that stimulation phase again. So I really like that about it as well.
That's great to hear. Very good. And one of the other things that Andrina gave me feedback with when we were writing the instructions, and we just researched with our customers as well who had used a pump, was really providing some good information on how to be successful with pumping.
Mm-hmm.
So many breast pumps in the instructions, they're just all about the features and the buttons and the, how to clean it and, worrying about how to sterilise, how many minutes to sterilise it for. But we actually wanted mums who use it to be successful from the first time. It shouldn't need to be something that you need to learn how to do. You should be able to, this information you could read even before your baby's arrived, and just things like tips like having a little video of your baby. Like that was what I really struggled with when I pumped a lot when I was travelling. My baby would be in Auckland and I'd be in Invercargill or something, and it was before smartphones. So, I would never have thought to take a photo. I just would be like, I probably need to get on with this, and then because I've been away all day, it was all, I was about fit to pop anyway, so it was all right. But in terms of if you're home and your baby's in the hospital or you're at work and you need to keep up your supply,
just looking at it.
Having a little video, having photos, even somebody suggested having a little recording of your baby crying. I mean, now you can have a video of your baby crying.
Elicit that letdown.
A bit heart-wrenching, but it would get the
certainly would
get the letdown working pretty well. So there's a whole page of just tips to be successful. So thank you for all your expert guidance with that. And we just tried to make all the pictures really clear and just to give you everything you need. And there's also really good, if I may say so myself, heaps of tips for troubleshooting, because a pump does have, ours is really simple, it's not got very many parts, but it's useful to be able to work out what's going on. If something like, there's very little in terms of spare parts that you'll need to replace, but possibly this would be the part that could get lost or could get damaged, and then you will get
so you
reduced
sell life,
suction.
don't you? Yeah.
All of the parts are available separately.
Andrina, you and also so mums don't get discouraged, but some women find that the stimulation phase doesn't work with them, and so if you start using this pump and you think that the stimulation phase isn't working, you can hand express a bit, and is that right?
I just never personally let down on a stimulation phase with any pump that I've used. So either I hand express, or with this one I haven't bothered too much. I've just started 2 minutes or so in the stimulation phase, and then I just go into the expression phase, and it's immediately fine. You don't need to seat milk before you change. It's more just giving it a little chance to stimulate. If it's not working for you, then just change in the expression phase.
And that's not uncommon to hear that doesn't work, the letdown on a pump or something, but once you start using expression.
Cool. And have you found that have you used both sides at once?
Yes, I have.
And do you find that it's the same sort of level that you've got the suction on both sides, or do you have higher or lower?
Well, I have it the same. I usually after 3 days I've been breastfeeding for 5 years now, I'm quite hardy, so I turn it up. I'm like, I want this to be as efficient as possible. I have it on both sides. It's equally the same, or you can change.
Yes.
I'm pretty good at it now. I sort of have one on and it can be like on my phone as well. That's great. So it is easy, and the way the silicone sits, it doesn't cut in. So if you were, like me, being lazy and not wanting to hold 2 at a time, then you can do that by sort of positioning as well, as long as you've got that the vacuum part, which is fine.
Cool.
Then it's easy to do that. Double pump.
And you can actually get, we don't sell them, we can look at getting them. You can get bras, can't you?
Yes, you can.
That you can put 2 sides on the go, get it all arranged, and you could maybe apparently walk around the house double pumping, doing all your other things, or not. I would take the opportunity for some Netflix and a lie down. I'd be out, get the Kindle out, you whip through a few books while you're doing your double pumping.
Exactly.
Unless
you're running around with toddlers or something.
You totally could put that in a bum bag and just walk around.
Well, it's light. That's a good thing about it, is it's so light, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Right, we've got a lot of questions coming through.
Okay,
so
let's hit us with the questions.
Okay, hold on a second.
Hold on, we'll just
Let's
get
give
some
these
water.
ladies some
Thank you.
water.
Thank you.
Right. So we've had there's lots of love for the breast pump coming through. They're loving the features, how quiet it is, etc. So I'll just start asking you guys some questions. Some are a bit more pump related, and some are a bit more just general breastfeeding type related. So someone has asked if it comes with a carry case.
No, comes in a box.
So no
We
carry
did,
case.
we did look at the carry case. It would have pushed the price up quite a lot, and our objective really was keeping it reasonable. Yeah, a good a lot of nappy bags like the nice little unicorn ones. Have got room to put all of it in there. I think, and often people, if you're taking it to work, you're taking a bag anyway. A lot of the kind of special breastfeeding breast pump bags are really dorky, like the ones that this factory made. I just looked at them and went, ooh, way too ugly.
And it's not big.
Compact as well.
It's smaller than a lunchbox. It's like half the size of a lunchbox.
And you might even just take one piece. I don't think you need a very big bag for this one.
No,
You
and I
could
think
use a lunch bag for that.
you can get. We do have a really nice insulated lunch bag from Kids Conserve, which is just a navy or a grey. That I think you would easily be able to fit the bottles and these and something like that. So an insulated lunch bag is perfect for the milk, and all the other bits will just really fit in your handbag.
Great. And someone's asked what parts would need regular replacement if you were exclusively pumping?
I think part of how long the parts last for depends on how you're sterilising them and not over sterilising them. Like the longer you boil things for, or how you sterilise them is going to be one of the factors that causes them to wear out. I think the silicone parts, feedback from the manufacturer is that the two silicone parts are what is going to need replacing. And you just really need to keep a really good eye on them, that if they show any sign of damage, they are going to start to reduce the effectiveness of the pump. Boiling silicone or any pump parts can cause discoloration, but that doesn't impact on their effectiveness. So they might go slightly milky looking, cloudy. The tubing, because of the backflow protection with the diaphragm, you shouldn't get any moisture in your tubes. You shouldn't be washing these because they won't be getting, if you've put it together correctly, which is pretty simple, you won't be getting any milk in your tubing. So in a lot of pumps, the tubing goes gross, but with this you shouldn't get any liquid in there. So I think really just these two over time, just keep an eye on them, but so we don't really have a specific time. Do you have any
I can't see that they wouldn't last for a really decent amount of time. I mean, compared to my old one, which had that little white
valve or something.
You got to replace and you lose them and whatever. This is all in one. It's so much better.
This is so much more durable than the old-fashioned kind of valve that's tiny and flimsy. It's really...
And it's okay for people if they were going to. I'm not a big fan of using the soaking chemical type thing, but this pump doesn't upset the manufacturer's guarantee or anything, so they could if they needed to, but
pretty much any kind of there's lots of different ways you can boil it. You can use a steam sterilizer once your baby's out of that kind of newborn stage. Most people are just going to hot soapy water.
I put a little video about cleaning in the comments as well, so we've done a little video.
I did do a little bit of testing. Remember, I told you I boiled.
Yes.
And not the pump. Louise thought I
boiled. Oh my god, you put that in the boiler.
I did boil them for like 10 minutes, and just to give it a good go, I wanted to test it. And I've also put it through the dishwasher several times. My lazy preferred method.
Yes.
All fine. It's
And someone's asked if you can buy spare parts, and yes. All of these are spare. And they
all of the parts. So we sell the bottle with the teats in a 2-pack. So you can buy that and that in a 2-pack.
Different size flan.
That's another question that's come through. Lots of people would like, is it come one size fit all, or is there two different options? So there is. Do you want to talk through those?
Yeah, so it comes in the 25mm standard in the box. And then we have the 21mm, 25 and 29 as accessories, and you can buy just the cushion. So the different sized cushions all fit in the standard. So there's not different sizes of the pump head, there's just different sizes of the cushion.
Yeah.
And then you can buy this separately, or you can buy the set with all of this.
Right. And someone has asked if it's compatible with collection cups like Free-Me.
Is that the
Oh,
reusable?
Is Free-Me the hands-off breast pump?
I don't know the answer to that question.
We will come back to you
Because
on
a
that
lot
one.
of these will
Sure.
be possibly interchangeable with other. It looks like it might fit
I imagine
that.
it
Looks like it's a collection cup.
I think that somebody did say it fits AVN. We tried the bottles with different teats and so on, and they work quite well, but not so as we'd say they definitely fit. I think people can try, and that was one of the reasons why we ended up getting the extra bottles as an accessory, so people could, and they're very
to keep them together.
one of the things that I
well.
love about this as well, that I personally do, is when I pump into here, they come with caps, which are actually really like great sturdy caps. I just pop the cap on the bottle and pop it in the fridge, and that's how I store it. So it's really handy. There's no transferring, no spilling.
Yes.
That's one of the best things. Like, there's lots of accessories in the box.
It
so
does
you don't
come
need to buy
with
extra
a
stuff.
lot. Yeah, it comes
Oh,
with
it's
a
just a
lot.
cap like that with no hole for the teat?
No, it's a really sturdy white.
So just a little
really
screw-on cap. I don't know.
Yeah,
Is there one in here? No?
maybe.
I don't know. There's all accessories all floating around the office. But it comes with everything you need pretty much. And it also has quite a comprehensive guide to storing and using breast
Oh,
milk.
this thing. Okay.
No, not that.
No one that goes on this bottle.
But this does actually, that is a cap.
Oh, yeah,
To
that's
stop
the
it leaking.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
That's the one?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
So fill this,
Oh.
put this on.
Like, that's what I've got in my bag with baby, with mother-in-law today.
But
it's super great.
But it does have this cap that you put on it, so if it tipped over, it wouldn't leak. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
This thing here?
Yep.
And it fits on, once you've expressed, it fits on there, so it can't tip over. But it's a pretty sturdy thing. I don't think it's going to do that at all. And it keeps, if you've sterilised it, it keeps it sterile too with that cap.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Renee from the Lactation Station. Hi, Renee.
Hi, Renee.
She said that she absolutely loves her pump.
Oh, you're awesome. Thank you so much for your amazing video that you did on your Instagram. We just loved
You should
it.
check it out if you want to see what Renee thinks of it. She's done a full review.
Really good.
Right, so Libby, this might be a good one for you. Someone has asked, is how much you can express a good indication of your supply?
No, I don't. I don't think it is. We don't know exactly how much a baby takes, and it's more supply and demand. So I don't think so at all. And we should be, if mum's going to express it, maybe it should be after they've fed, and we don't know what the baby's taken off. So yeah, I'd say no to that one. Sorry.
Okay. Cool. And
I think though that for a lot of people who've used a less efficient pump, I know when I was pumping that the only time I could get a really good, amount was if I had actually missed a feed, like if I was out of town or, in the morning. If I pumped straight away in the morning, I would get a lot. But during the day, my pump was so useless that pumping certainly wouldn't have been an indicator of supply because I always had loads of milk.
Oh no, like I've got a massive baby that I've fully breastfed, and with other pumps I've struggled to get, like been disheartened getting 30 mils or so, and needing to pump multiple times to get a feed to go out. I mean, like this one, I was relaxed. I was watching MasterChef. I got more than enough to leave him with Nana for a couple of hours. So yeah.
So the secret is a good pump.
I think so. I do.
Anything.
Yeah.
okay, another question for you. You've kind of answered this already, like what makes the Cain breast pump so special. I think you've talked through all those features. The hospital level or hospital grade, we've talked about that too, haven't we?
Yeah, I think really just when we researched about what was a hospital grade pump, there's so many different definitions of what that is, and when we were thinking about what's a hospital grade pump, we're talking about the sort of like massive one that you drive and wheel around. There's a lot of brands which say they're hospital grade, some of them which are less powerful than this one. And so we went with hospital level performance because what a mum will get from using this is we feel equivalent to if you're using one in a hospital. And it's got 2 independent powerful motors. They're as powerful as you can get with a home model. And it has all the backflow protection and the ease of cleaning, which is another feature that a hospital type pump would have. So that's kind of I think anyone who's watching can be really confident that this is more than equal or better than any of the other pumps on the market that claim they're hospital grade.
Nice. And someone's asked, when would you look at starting to pump? Or when should you start pumping? When would you use a pump, I guess?
We say that you don't have to have a pump to have a baby, but a lot of people want the versatility of being able to leave the baby with someone and keep giving them breast milk. We don't say when is a good time to pump, but we may suggest that pumping quite early on is going to help to increase your supply to give baby what they need at the beginning. So that's quite often why people want to pump, so that when they're told they need to get a pump, there's one at home. So they don't have to hire one. Often by 3 or 4 weeks, people are, they've got a pump at home and they're really keen to try it out and see how it works and all that sort of thing. And that's the question I get asked. Can I start doing that? And I say, sometimes if there's no need to, wait until your milk supply is really established after 6-7 weeks. But it's completely up to everybody, why they're pumping really. Yeah.
One with my personal experience was that, pumped early on, in the first probably 6 weeks or something, baby took the bottle fine. I was intending to breastfeed long term. All my babies were breastfed for a really long time, but I was going back to work and my husband was staying at home during the day. So, it was really important that the baby would take the bottle of breast milk. And we were like, 6 weeks, sweet. And then didn't try it again until like 2 days before I was going back to work. And then the baby just was like, I don't think so. I like the boob way too much. So my advice would be that if you are going back to work and you are pumping, for someone else to feed the breast milk, do use the bottle periodically rather than waiting until like the day you go back to work, because we get that inquiry a lot. How do I get the baby to actually take the bottle? So if you know that's your plan, once your breastfeeding is really well established, then introduce the bottle from time to time.
And like Libby mentioned with the teat that's supplied in here, it's quite a wide, it makes, so the baby needs to open their mouth quite wide like when they're breastfeeding.
Yes.
So often with the, the thinner teats, and they can sort of just get on and they get that easy reward, they'll be discouraged to breastfeed because it's so much easier on the bottle, but these are,
they're good shape.
They're a good shape for breastfeeding babies as well. Yeah.
And I think everybody's circumstances are going to be different, aren't they?
Very.
People's reasons for wanting to express. Some people just absolutely can't breastfeed, so they're pumping to continue with breast milk. Some like me are going back to work and need someone, every day to be feeding baby, although Matt did end up driving from Titiriri to Auckland City every single day for months. Full credit to the man for his efforts. The baby was having kind of 2, morning and afternoon tea from the expressed milk and the lunchtime from the mummy. So had a good start there. So, and other people will be like just, for occasional expressing to enable you to do whatever. So, or there's a lot of women who, how does it work if baby's in NICU and some mums are kind of coming and going and expressing.
They use the hospital pumps, and some get given a hand pump to use when they go home overnight once they've left the hospital. And usually they end up hiring a decent pump, as they can do from most of the hospitals have a hiring place. So, so that's what they do.
So lots of different reasons to be using one, and and at different. Some people from early on, and others, maybe later on when you're going back to work or whatever.
I've got another question from a lady who's been breastfeeding and topping up with formula She's only getting 30 to 40 mils when pumping. How to increase, because she's feeding twins every 3 hours.
Yeah.
So is there any way that she can get more than 30 to 40 mils when pumping, or should we be discouraged by that?
It depends on how old the babies are.
Yeah.
Still doing skin to skin still thing is very important, and if she was able, but she's got twins, she may also have a toddler, so I don't know. I don't know her situation, and the way that she's pumping and what width I think would make a difference. I'm unsure what she's expressing with. So
she hasn't really given more information.
No.
But if you're watching, send us a bit more info, and we can help you out with that.
Absolutely.
As we said, Libby's around, and also Andrina can help with some answers on there.
And with this upping, supply, if you're double pumping, then you're getting twice the stimulation. So basically, with the whole supply and demand model, you're demanding your body to produce more, and you will supply. So it's just making sure that your breasts are stimulated enough. So for, with babies, skin to skin, breastfeeding, expressing, massaging in the shower before you express.
Yeah.
Those kind of things are really good to help get your milk flowing as well. But don't be discouraged, because I've breastfed for 5 years and I could only get 30 mils. So before this pump, so don't worry about it. It's not an indication of how much you have and how long you've breastfed for.
Great. What I've done is I've actually just posted the cleaning video so people can have a watch of
Yeah,
that.
but I could just show you
easy
again as well.
show
It was
you.
just, the bottle comes off and you can store that. The pump cap comes off. Whoops, I think the diaphragm fell out. It's the diaphragm, wash that. And then you just pull the valve off the pump head that's just attached there. Pull that out, and those are the bits that you need to wash. And so there's an actual video that shows, rinsing it and boiling it and those things.
And we've also got a lot of people who have kind of missed it or just joined a little bit later and didn't hear it, and they'd like to hear it again. So can we turn it on so we can hear the pump?
So it's just
it's really hard to hear.
It is, yeah.
So that's it.
Can you even hear it?
So that's just
That side. That's both sides.
that's both sides. Both sides on 9.
It's pretty quiet. It's good, eh?
Thank you. That's great. So that's kind of like all the questions. If there's any other specific ones, there's been a few more little specific ones that will kind of go with Andrina and Libby, I think, in regards to individual scenarios when they're actually breastfeeding their current babies.
Yeah.
So if you're in our newborn group, isn't it?
Yes.
If you're thinking about buying one after watching all of this, make sure you're in our newborn group, because there is a special offer for people who want to review one. If you're prepared to use it and do a thorough review, we do have a special an offer for you where you'll get, just remind me, is it extra?
It's a discount, and then once the review's been published, you'll get some store credit added to your
Yeah,
account
because
after that.
all reviews that you write after you get an email after your purchase, they all earn points, but this is earn lots more bonus points, because with a big investment like a pump, obviously people want to read genuine reviews. They've got questions, and so we just really, since it's a new product, we're just encouraging people to write a thorough review, and we're happy to give you store points for your time. Obviously we want it to be a genuine authentic review. We're not just going to pay you to write without having used it. But if you're interested, that's in the newborn group, and Amelia will
I'll pin that to the top.
she'll pin that to the top, so it's easy to find. But do join our newborn group anyway if you've got a baby 0 to 4 months and you're about to have a baby, because this lovely lady here is
so great.
available
Yes.
to answer your questions.
Does such a great job with that.
Okay, so I think that's everything. Thank you so much, both of you, for
That's
coming
all right.
in. Lovely to
Louise.
spend time with you and to
Yeah.
hear about what you thought about pump.
I love it. It's great.
And we just hope more of you will be inspired to try it and go from 30 mils to
All right. Yeah.
a decent sized bottle. 2 boobs, go for it.